Hi, it's Lee, and welcome to the Tesla Economist. I'm not going to lie, I have human emotions, and I was happier when Tesla was around $300. On the other hand, when we were around that price, I also had some regret, not using more of my cash to buy more shares or more options when the stock price was below 200. This is human psychology, behavioral science, and according to some technical analysts, we could possibly see it below 200. But unless any major catastrophes occur, I would guess that we should have some pretty solid support around this price now. We may have even seen the bottom. The global economy just feels a little more uncertain right now, and the VIX index was the highest it's been since June. China's feeling fragile again, and even Apple is down 10% over the last couple of weeks. Microsoft and Google are holding well though. In fact, I haven't gone into too much detail on this before, but when Tesla goes high enough, I think I will cut down my position and likely put it into Apple, Google, and Microsoft, and some smaller cap growth companies too. I'll discuss this strategy in more detail some other time. I know it's easy to be a Tesla to Mars fanboy and lots of fun, but sometimes you have to take life seriously and just provide for your family and set them up when you get the chance. It's still investing, and a concentrated investment is how you make it big. But once you have made it big and enough is enough, then go back to rule number one: don't lose money. After a while, enough is enough to have a great life. And there really is more to life than Tesla and Elon, as exciting as they can be. For example, I just had a great holiday in Hawaii with my family. Back when Tesla's stock price was closer to the highs, I had enough in Tesla to literally live like that non-stop. What else do you need in life? In investing, sometimes you need to set targets and work out what is really important. Money's not everything. On the other hand, there are many people in this community who are not investors and have just put everything into Elon and Tesla in the hope that it will go to the moon and they'll become a millionaire. We're all here for different reasons with different lives. I do my best to remain grounded as to how this company is going and where it is headed in the most objective way possible. Anyway, we saw the stock price go all the way down to $100 in one of Tesla's darkest times, but then it recovered all the way to $300 back at the start of the year. I don't think there was anyone who would have thought Tesla was going to pretty much triple in the space of about half a year. I thought especially not with the lack of progress Tesla was facing with Texas and Berlin ramping. Still, to this day, only around 1/3 of the potential capacity. We have seen similar patterns in the past, although not going that low. Tesla dropping from 300s or so and then down to $200, only to recover and bounce back again to the 300s. This was a large discrepancy in stock price in short periods of time. And if you knew the trading cycle, then there was a lot of money to be made, especially if you leveraged with options. It would appear that Tesla is still at this game. Despite such a large cap stock, it is incredibly volatile. This is no ordinary share. What other trillion-dollar companies will literally drop 75% in value in such short periods, only to recover the vast majority again in half a year? It is a roller coaster of a stock. I would say the closest thing to compare it to would be Bitcoin, which happens to be my second largest position. These two investments are not for amateurs. They are really tough, especially compared to something with solid cash flow and lower PE ratios like Google. The auto industry on the whole is volatile. The companies often come close to bankruptcy or actually do go bankrupt. However, the market has taken its position on Tesla and decided that it is much more than just a car company and is willing to invest on the future technology that the company brings, albeit technology actually through automobiles. Anyway, despite production issues and delays Tesla have been facing, the market looked past all of that. Looked past it just being an electric car company and is looking to the future of where this company is headed. And most investors here have their targets set on around 2030. It seems to be the common year that investors are waiting for, so who knows? Perhaps there'll be a huge sell-off in 2030 as everyone finally takes their profits. Just kidding. Why? Because that is just over 6 years away. And if we look back 6 years ago now, the Model 3 was just starting in production. This is when Tesla was just a $50 billion company. Think of what it will do now. It's 10 to 20 times the size over the next 6 years. In the meantime, what the share price does now is all about the confidence the market has on what Tesla will become in 2030. Will FSD be solved? Will Tesla really hit 20 million units a year? Will robots be replacing human labour? And will there actually be robotaxis on the road? We have a confident, charismatic CEO, respected by many large players. Doors open easier for him than the US government. Entire nations incentivize Elon to choose them as a location for Tesla's next venture, as they don't want to miss out on the opportunities it may attract. And he's standing here telling us that all these things will come to fruition. It's simply a matter of time. Yes, they've been delayed and taken longer than we expected, but he assures us that they will eventually come through. And it doesn't take many of them to tip the scales in the financials. There's plenty of ways for Tesla's net profits to approach $50 billion in the next few years. However, there are occasions when, whilst we are waiting for these things to occur, we miss other areas of the company that are happening under our noses. For example, there is the new CATL cell factory next door to Giga Shanghai. There are mixed opinions on what this factory is doing and whether it's actually starting production soon or not. But nonetheless, there is a very tangible multi-billion-dollar factory standing here still. Megapacks are slowly ramping too, with a supposed 80 gigawatt-hour year capacity to come through in the near future. If each kilowatt-hour of Megapacks is worth just $125 profit, then that's $10 billion additional profit alone. And we've already heard Elon say there'll be more Megapack factories to come after Lathrop and China, presumably Europe next. We can also see more action when it comes to Cybertrucks, seeing them in various manufacturing phases and huge factory there ready to go. We know Tesla are capable of producing EVs. We know they can make EVs with structural battery packs. We know the Cybertruck has simple lines for the reason it can be manufactured, well, more simply. I know sometimes it's hard to believe that such a product can legally be available to the public. Then all the negativity we hear from the media or the bears, but I would say the chances are good that we will see the Cybertruck delivered this year. Yes, after massive delays, but I think these are due mainly to the 4680 sales. Tesla delivering the Cybertruck finally should really show that they do eventually get over the finish line, despite how much longer these things take than they thought or initially said. The fact that Tesla's stock price ran up to 300 as fast as it did, with something ridiculous like 20 consecutive green days, which was absolutely insane at the time, and then came crashing down almost as fast, means that there is a really big air pocket in between those price points. The market have probably realised this too, and I would guess will likely want to manipulate that fact as much as possible. So we could see Tesla trading around these points for a little while. It might be the next trading range. Here's a few guesses or some kind of examples of what might happen. We get Cybertruck delivery event locked in. Tesla launch Model 3 Highland too. How crazy would that be, actually, to have two new Tesla models released that close to one another? The FSD version 12 update as well. Maybe Mexico breaking ground, all around the same period of time. Then the stock goes back to 300. Then there may be some issues with all the above we just discussed, and the FUD and shorts will be out in full force. If there are any little issues we see of the Cybertruck or the production, it'll be headline news, and the stock goes back to lower 200s. It could fluctuate in and out of this range several times. Then a good Q4 and some more progress in Mexico. Perhaps it goes back to 300. Then Elon starts selling stock again. It goes low, etc. Then the Nevada extension breaks ground and a new Model Y facelift and the breaking ground of the Megapack factory in China, and it goes high again. Anyway, this is just a theory, but I think I might play with these potential fluctuations and see if I can have a bit of fun. Thanks for listening. Please hit the thumbs up and subscribe. You can follow me on Twitter and talk to me on Patreon.